Thank you for the introduction. Thank you guys for attending. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background in agency life and some of my clients that failed to overcome some of the barriers to XR technology, and share a couple success stories of where we were able to break through and successfully execute things. As I mentioned, I have a big background in advertising, and I recently joined the XR world in 2020, March 2020, but I was first exposed to the technology about 8 years ago in a work capacity, and that's when I really started getting passionate and excited about all the opportunities. Quick plug about BUNDLAR. So as mentioned, we're a no-code augmented reality, so anyone can create their own AR experiences. Simply drag, drop your existing content, and in minutes you have AR experiences, and I don't know how to code, and I make experiences all day. So really excited about the work that we're doing. Some common barriers to XR technology. They're way more beyond this list here, but today I'm going to focus on one of the biggest ones, the general awareness and understanding of XR technology. And I'm sure you've all experienced this, that when you mention what you do and what you are, you get a lot of, what is augmented reality? What is the metaverse? What is that? XR, questions after questions. So there is still a lack of general awareness and understanding of just the technology as a whole. Cost and time to develop XR experiences. It's not always inexpensive, and they often take months to do, and securing the appropriate content and all that, it adds up quickly, and that's a big barrier for businesses. And then lastly, I'll focus on the lack of technical capability and how that hinders companies able to execute XR. So to focus on a couple of the times we tried, but were unable to overcome these barriers. To set the stage of what it's like in agency life, during planning season, your clients will come to you, and everybody wants to go viral, be disruptive, cut through the noise, all of that. And so we're always looking for what's different, what's going to stand out, what can we use that will distance us from the competition. And XR was an obvious fit for a lot of our clients. So one time we tried to bring a project to the client. It was for tourism. And the whole idea with that was that it would be a virtual reality execution of experiences that you could add on to your vacation package. So try out the hot air balloon, look at the shipwreck, you can go snorkeling. And the idea was that they could upsell with vacation packages for people to buy more of these experiences, and they would monetize it by working with all their partners and vendors to pay for some of the placements. So if you want your activity featured in these experiences, you have to pay for it. So we thought we were checking a lot of boxes, and the biggest one that we were hitting the mark of disruptive, breaking the boundaries, but we also were trying to tie it back to the business goals and not have it be just a gimmick, because then that would never be successful for them. And this didn't come to fruition. One of the big reasons being is they were incredibly confused, and it was a tough meeting with a lot of questions about the most basic things with XR technology, and they really struggled just to grasp the concept of what it would look like. And the other side of it is a missed opportunity on our end. Is we should have given them a try before you buy pitch and brought a headset to the meeting and let them see it and experience it themselves. So I think now the accessibility of headsets is making a big difference, because a couple of years ago at this agency, we didn't have a headset. So when we went to the client, we were showing pictures and videos and trying to help them understand what it would look like. But now we all have headsets. I brought one to my block party, and now every other one of my neighbors owns an Oculus. So that hardware is becoming more accessible, and I think it's easier now for companies to understand and visualize what things can look like. The other side of it was cost. They were concerned about the cost for something that they didn't know how it would perform. It was going to be a proof of concept, a bit of a guinea pig, a test. So despite the fact it's one of the largest airlines in the country with a very healthy budget, cost was still a concern just because of the test and the unknown. And then development time was a barrier as well, that it was a significant investment, and they were concerned that they wouldn't get to see some deliverables in a shorter timeline. Another example I'm going to share with you is it was a lawnmower company that I was advertising for, or the engines that go into the lawnmowers. And They wanted to find a way to inform people at the point of sale the benefits of a gas versus battery lawnmower. I know what you're all thinking. I thought it too when I sat there, and I'm like, why are we pushing gas lawnmowers? You think we should be going with battery? But I did learn there's a time and a place when you need a little bit more power, or you have a really big yard, that gas makes sense. But what they really wanted to do was, if the customer hasn't done the research before they get to the store, they wanted a way to provide additional information right there at the point of sale where all of the machines are. This one didn't come to fruition for several reasons. Despite the clients being really excited about it and enthusiastic about it, timing was a huge issue because lawnmowers are seasonal. And so every year they would have a campaign that would typically start in January down in Florida and then work its way up as the seasons, as the snow melts and the seasons get there. And the timing that it took, we would have missed the bottom half of the country. And they were concerned that, well, it doesn't cost any more to do like a smaller portion of the country, so we're going to miss out on all of that. And so the timing was a big barrier there. And then there was a bit of general awareness and understanding in the room that was a barrier. Luckily, we did have some champions there that were really excited about it and wanted to bring it, but at the end of the day, we couldn't just make it happen, even though we worked through some of the operations challenges of not having to reprint any of the POP, because being able to use the existing packaging as image markers was a way to make it go a little bit further and not have to interrupt operations that were already very streamlined. Okay, so now here are a couple of success stories where we were able to cut through some of these things. In addition to technology like we're making at BUNDLAR and some other companies as well, consumer activations over the last 5-6 years have made it much more mainstream. Between the Pokemon Go, the 19 Crime Rhymes, Snapchat, people have a better general idea and understanding of what this technology is. We still have a ways to go. Luckily, I feel like it's snowballing though, that we're all here learning, we're gonna go home and we're gonna tell people, and so it's getting there. The other is hardware innovation. So now all of the devices that we have are being built to support all of these technologies, and just like the Oculus, more accessible and easier for people to secure. Proven success. There are tons of case studies and new case studies coming out every single day about how companies are driving their ROI, their growth, their engagement, their immersion. It's an endless list, and that gives companies the confidence that they need to move forward with things like this. And as mentioned, the simplified development, that now it doesn't always need to take a lot of time and money, that you can easily put together quick experiences. So the first example I'm going to use here is AR support for Xbox. So Xbox wanted to test a customer support activation. They wanted to be a self-guided support and reduce the number of calls that came into the call center. So we worked with them and identified, okay, what are some of the challenges, what are this? And they wanted to do it very quickly. And we were able to leverage our platform with a quick drag and drop and quickly version out experiences, launch them at scale, and use analytics to really prove the success and put together a successful proof of concept. So the ROI on this one was very strong, and they were very excited about it. And a big part of that was that it was able to be executed so quickly, because the more time you put into things, the more expensive it's going to be. And the quick activation really helped with the success of this and versioned it out in additional ways. I think one of the biggest things about this too is that they launched it with Xbox insiders. And in doing that, it was already kind of an enthusiastic audience and a tech-savvy audience, but seeing some of the feedback was really interesting as to how people that are a little bit more tech-savvy than general consumers were reacting to the product. But the Xbox use case, the ROI on there, I always get very excited about that, because when you do that at a scale like Microsoft, that's going to add up pretty quickly. And then here's a quick video of the experience. Does it play? Do I have to hit play to make it go? Oh, there we go. So this is our platform where we author the experiences, and it's just a drag and drop. So using images that are just JPEGs, a picture of the back of the device is what the trigger is, and leveraging layers to kind of do a tour of, where does this cord go? What's next? What's next? What's next? This is me building these experiences, and as mentioned, I do not know how to code. So by being able to design and style right here in the platform, once you have the content in a matter of minutes, you can create AR. Just let this run for a bit. And what was really nice about this is that it's in context. So customers don't have to look at a 2D, a printout and try to translate where the cords go. It's right there on top of their machine. I had to buy an Xbox for work, so so that was an exciting must-do. But you see, it's right there on top of it, so there's no room for interpretation. It makes it very simple, very intuitive, and being able to access it on a mobile device, extremely accessible. Give it a moment, and one of the things that's unique about our app as well is that I can do that offline. Okay, so to jump into another quick success story example, Sesame Solar came to us, and they make these outstanding portable solar trailers of sorts, and they wanted to be able to provide instructions to the users. They're brand new, and they're manufacturing them, and they're working with lots of different suppliers, and as things are coming off the assembly line, they're making the instructions on how to use it, how to implement it, how to run it at the same exact time. And so there are lots of moving pieces. They're moving extremely quickly. They're a startup, so they're relatively small. They're funded, mainly funded with government funds, and they have a lot of challenges because they want to implement this technology because it's a great solution for them, but they don't have developers on team, and the cost of some custom solutions would be a little bit above budget given the use case and the need for the company. So the outcome is augmenting the trailer and all the components around the trailer. So these are often used in emergent situations where people haven't, they don't use them daily. They might be operating it for the very first time. So they get the trailer and they walk around, and different components of it are augmented with instructions on how to use it, interact with it, control it, troubleshoot, all of that. And with the platform, they're able to keep up with production because as things are coming off, they're publishing the experiences, and they're aggregating content from all these different manufacturers and suppliers. And one of the big things is, instead of having to read tons and tons of user manuals, they can go right to where it is and access that information instead of having to try to find it. So it speeds up the end experience for the users and is a great solution for their customers to be successful with using the trailer. Okay, shameless plug here. Again, how are we breaking down the barriers? It's very simple. We make AR easy, and we are empowering those of us that do not know how to code and create this amazing technology. And I like to say our developers do the hard work, so I don't have to. And it's really amazing to see how instructional designers, marketers, graphic designers are taking this and using it to transform their businesses. And now my absolute favorite success story is augmented reality by children. We like to say we make AR easy, so I had to test it out. So this is my 8-year-old son, and we had a snow day, and so I made them do a little bit of school. I'm like, we're home, we have to do some work. And he grabbed one of his encyclopedias and wrote a report on the scientific method. It didn't look that fun and exciting. He was thrilled about it, but I was like, there's got to be a better way, kiddo. So we decided to see how we could recreate this and teach about the scientific method using AR. So I helped a little bit with some of the assets, but I worked with my son, and some of this video, if you could hit play on that. He is actually in the CMS building some of these things. So just, again, simple drag and drop. Once you have the content, the actual authoring is extremely easy. And I think being able to visualize it and test it and see it for so many people that can't do it without the physical product is really making it easy for businesses to adopt, because there is no room for interpretation, especially for those that aren't as well versed in this technology. And so here you see it's on an iPad. It works on both iOS and Android devices, and makes it very, very flexible. And for those of us that can't just read a textbook and memorize the whole thing, this type of immersive experience is great for overcoming some of the learning curves for complicated things and better understanding how things all fit together. Okay, perfect, thank you. I think we have some time for Q&A.
Yeah, thank you, Lauren. That was amazing. Super interesting to see no-code AR, and I think that's going to be a major step for the industry going forward. So if anyone has any questions, please step up to the mic and ask away.
Thank you. Really awesome to hear about both failures and successes. It's really helpful. I'm actually really curious about BUNDLAR itself. Does a user of the experience, do they need to download an app, or is this web-based, or how does that work?
Yep, that is a great question. I'm happy to get more into what we do. It goes to an app. So it's the BUNDLAR app, available on iOS and Android. And one of the things we love about using the app is we bundle AR experiences. So you can have several different triggers, both markerless and image marker, in one experience, and so it's seamless. So let's say you have a book and you want to augment 4 pages in that book. Once the user's in their bundle, they just go from page to page instead of having to scan a QR code for this page, then you turn, scan a QR code for this page. Additionally, with the app, it caches the bundles. So those that are don't have access to Wi-Fi or in remote locations, or on the expo floor when everybody's using the internet and it's not working, you can seamlessly access the experiences. And we're seeing a lot of success with defense solutions when there are lots of times when they cannot have access to the internet. Thank you.
Great presentations. Can we have team like collaborate the works?
Yeah, so in our CMS, you can have multiple users, and not at the same time and not remote with the app. So if somebody's using the app, you can't remote train and collaborate with them. And in the actual CMS, when you're authoring, it's kind of one person at a time, but you can have multiple users that can then at other times jump in and help edit and design. Thank you. If you guys would like to try it out, we do have a couple computers set up with it open, ready to go at our booth 937. So you're welcome to stop by, and in a couple minutes you can create your own AR experience. And we have little stickers that are holographic, and I was curious to see how the camera would work using that as an image marker, and it was actually a very seamless experience. So I really love to push and try to break the technology. So I'm always trying to find ways to throw a curveball, but with this one, the camera did better than I anticipated. Any other questions? Perfect, thank you. Well, make sure you stop by our booth, and I'll let you go.
Yeah, thanks again, Lauren.